In this presentation, we will add a checking account and the beginning balance for it within our business and personal QuickBooks account file. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. Here we are on the home page. We currently have the open windows open. We can open the open windows by going to the view drop-down and selecting the open windows list. To add our new checking account, we will first go to the chart of accounts, which can be found by going to the lists drop-down and going to the chart of accounts. Within the chart of accounts, we see that we already have some accounts being set up, and that's because we chose an industry, in our case choosing an industry that has inventory in it. So that means that it's going to set up certain accounts. Most of the expense accounts are going to be there for us. So when we consider the business side of things, we can say, okay, most of the business type accounts will already be there. Our goal then is to add generally just the personal items that will be there. So we'll use this as the default for the most part for business items, and then add accounts that we will want for personal accounts so that we can use the same file. We're going to have to add, however, as well, a checking account because that is not there yet here. So we're going to do that by going to the drop up window. We'll go to the accounts down below and hit that drop down arrow, which makes the drop up window. And we'll go to the new account, and we want a bank account, and that's the one, and we'll say continue. And we're just going to call it once again a generic account. So it's going to be a checking account. We could call it Wells Fargo, or we could have it, last four digits of our number if we have more than one account. And if we are having a business and personal account, that might be a good idea even if we're trying to use the same QuickBooks account. We're not going to do that here, but you may want to try that concept. And then you might want two different account numbers or some way to differentiate between, of course, the two accounts. You may want to put the name of the bank or may not. Depends on what you want to do. However, this being our only checking account, it's pretty clear that this will be our checking account. So also note that we're not going to be using the beginning balance here. The beginning balance would mean that if I go to my beginning bank statement, we're going to start entering data as of January of 2020. And so this would be our beginning balance. We've had bank balances prior to this. We're not going to go back in time and enter all the data prior to this point. We're drawing a line. We're entering the data as of this point in time going forward. And therefore, in order to do that, we need to just put this beginning balance in place. QuickBooks gives us a system to do that, but we're not going to use it. We're not going to use this enter beginning balance because if we do so, then QuickBooks will correctly make the bank balance, but it will also put something somewhere else. And it'll either use an opening balance equity account or some kind of uncategorized account because we need two accounts all the time. And so I would rather do that ourselves so we can tell QuickBooks which account to use rather than have QuickBooks just guess on which other account to use. So that's how we will then set this up next. So I'm going to say save and close, and we're not going to do that. And now we're going to go into this check register by just double clicking on this new account that we have made. So we'll double click on that account, and then here's our check register. The first thing we'll enter in the check register will be that beginning balance. We're going to enter it the day before we start operations. So we're going to say that we're going to start entering data for January for this QuickBooks file. We don't want any messy business happening in the year we're in. Therefore, I'm going to enter this as of the prior balance, December 31st of the prior year, so that it's already there when we go forward in the current year. So that means I'm going to put this in there as of 12/31/19, and it's going to be a deposit. Now, of course, again, it's not an actual deposit because it's already there, but we're going to have to treat it as a deposit in order to put the beginning balance in place. So we're going to put it in as of a deposit on this side, the deposit side, and it's going to be 4210. So 4210. Then we need to choose some other account. If we select the drop down, then we're going to have to say it should be an equity type of account. So we're typically going to put it into the equity, the owner's equity for the sole proprietor. And then we're just going to probably put the beginning checking account balance. So I'll just put the beginning balance. And then you must hit record or enter in order to finish the transaction. 30 days, that's okay. It's going to give us a message saying, look, you're hitting retained earnings, an equity type account. And that's okay this time because this is our beginning balance. Typically, we won't often have journal entries to retained earnings. It will be adjusted through the net income going to it. We'll see that as we go. So we'll say okay, and then we're going to go to reports drop down and just take a look at what happened. Reports, we'll go to company and financial and go down to the balance sheet standard, changing the dates up top. Going to go from, we're going to be working in the year 01/01/20 to 12/31/20, and okay. And we'll note that the balance is already there, and the other side of it is in equity. That's what we want to have. And if we go into the detail for this checking account, it's just going to be in the beginning balance now because we're in as of January. We entered it in there. If we change this date to the 19th, we entered it in as of 12/31/2019. But now, and that's so it's 0 before that, and then we entered it and it's 4210 after that. And now if we start the new year, January through December, that's the beginning balance 4210, and that's what we'll start with going forwards. Looking at the balance sheet, we just have the checking account and the equity. That's all we have so far. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.